Welcome to the Outdoor Biz Podcast Adventure Travel Series, where we embark on thrilling journeys and share captivating stories exploring the world of adventure travel. Join me as I share the stories of guides, outfitters, and destinations that will ignite your wanderlust and inspire your next great adventure. Whether it's scaling majestic peaks, diving into turquoise waters, or traversing vast wilderness, we unveil the hidden gems that every outdoor enthusiast dreams of exploring. Let's get after it. Hey, Steve and Nona, welcome to the show.
Hey, Rick, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Well, we're sitting here listening to the dogs bark as somebody just pulled up.
Oh, nice. Perfect timing. Who's there?
It'll be Emily.
Oh, gotcha. Got you.
I got her.
Gotcha. Well, welcome to the Outdoor Biz Podcast. We're going to talk. This is going to be a special adventure travel series that I'm doing. And who better to talk to you about adventure travel than Steve and Nona Barker? You guys were like on the pioneering side of this with Richard Bangs and a lot of those other guys.
Yeah. That's kind of weird, but if you go back in time, that's true.
Yeah, exactly. It's.
I guess pioneer is the best way to refer to us. We've been called a lot worse.
And better.
Yeah, and better. Yeah. Well, you guys started. I mean, you didn't start. We'll talk about the business that you started before Eagle Creek, but you were. We'll talk about that too. You switched gears and turned Eagle Creek into the first travel gear company and one of the strongest, best for many, many years. Probably still leading the pack. So
it's still going strong.
Exactly right.
Proud of that.
Exactly right. Yeah, should be. Yeah, exactly. So let's start off with your first outdoor adventure together. What was that? Is it safe to tell?
I tried to think about that because it had to be an Idlewild, would be an outdoor adventure because I was a girl from, the beach and didn't go in the outdoors.
Well, the beach is outdoors.
So I did, but we didn't do that together.
Yeah.
But together, he taught me basic outdoor skills, taught me basic rock climbing. So those were like outdoor adventures. Threw me on a pair of skis, cross-country skis for the first time. Those were outdoor adventures.
Very cool.
What else? We did. We backpacked,
yeah.
Because we made gear, so we take stuff and backpack.
Yeah, that
practice,
sounds cool. Yeah.
Try it out. But that rarely basic stuff.
Yeah. Starting out. Yeah.
And that was like early 70s.
Cool. I had a retail store up in Idlewild.
That's right.
Mountain people. We were a couple of years, maybe a year in, and we pitched an idea to the local summer camp director that we would do some basic outdoor training to the camp counselors.
Oh, cool.
And lo and behold, they agreed to it. And that's, I had met Nona before, but that's where I kind of get to know her. And, that was my first outdoor experiences with Nona was on that, going through a outdoor skills course with her.
When did you
technically I didn't like him at all. Just to let you know, I just thought he was the weirdest guy I had ever met.
And now
probably still have that claim to fame.
Pretty funny wood and horn rim glasses, taped together. It's like, who the hell is
I don't think I ever heard that
shorts,
story.
Shorts and everything hung out of.
Shorts back then, yeah, right.
Yeah, stand-up shorts.
That's funny. Right.
So, Rick, that was 52 years ago.
Wow.
We've been married. We'll be married 50 years. We'll be married 50 years this year.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. When did you start? What year did you start Mountain People?
72.
Gotcha. Okay. How long did that go?
75.
75. It seemed like about 10 years, but a lot of stuff got packed into just a few years.
Yeah. What was the first business you started together after Mountain People?
Eagle Creek.
Yeah, Eagle Creek.
Yeah, but weren't there a couple of other brands before Eagle Creek?
No. Just mountain people.
We started Eagle Creek and then had a couple sub brands. One was Tumbleweed Transit, and the other was Tramp Luggage.
Yeah, right.
And those were
those were under
brands.
Eagle Creek.
Oh, okay. I thought there were separate.
And we did those because we didn't want to muddle the Eagle Creek name with inferior, cheaper products for some of these retail, what were those stores named? Outdoor stores. Oshman.
Don't name names.
Yeah. Oshman's, places like that.
Oh, yeah. Oshman's, back in the day. Right?
Distribution was much more restricted back then. If you sold one place, you couldn't sell in the other.
Oh, interesting. Mm-hmm.
We had 3 brands for 3 different markets and didn't have money to market any of those brands. But we didn't know any better.
So what was the... Sorry, go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
So I was going to say, what was about adventure travel that inspired Eagle Creek? Had you been on some adventure travel kind of trips where you not backpacking, but trekking or boating or had you been down to Baja?
You want me to say that one?
Well, kind of. To me, it was our customers, people walking in the door. I had this little shop in the front of our retail store that we made things for people, and people kept walking in and asking for weird things. And it was more like travel, and, things that not just for climbing, not just for backpacking. They wanted to go, and and then we traveling, we needed stuff, so we made it.
Yeah, we didn't get into travel because we didn't have a mission to be in travel. It was more we had a mountain pack business and just followed our customers.
Gotcha.
As they started doing more exotic travel with their outdoor adventures. Gotcha. So they needed gear for that.
Yeah. Hey, Nona,
and it turned out we're much better designers for travel gear than mountain packs.
Well, that turned out to be, that's fortuitous.
Yeah. And it was our own lane then. It was, because mountain packs were pretty crowded.
Very crowded.
Even back then with some great designers. And as much as we loved doing mountain packs, nobody was working in travel. And so, we were trying to pay the rent and feed our family. So when travel started working, that's where we put all our chips.
Gotcha.
And I really think Ricky Schlesinger named Adventure Travel Market. I think he named it the Adventure Travel. He would massive push on that. We had some fights over it. Ricky and I did. Just because, I thought he was wrong.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, he wasn't.
In hindsight, he's spot on. You guys nailed it. I mean, you were right there at the right time. Nona, sometimes your audio is giving a little feedback. Are you on a headset?
I'm on a headset.
And I'm sitting right next to her. Maybe I should.
I mute when you're talking, Stephen. He's leaving.
That sounds perfect right now. Maybe it's move the.
Okay, just stand there. He's leaving. He's going to go in the other room.
Got you. All right. So you just mentioned a couple of those challenges in the early days. Obviously, finance and things like that. Distributions. I didn't realize the distribution side was tough. That's interesting. That if you sold somebody, was it in a regional thing, or was it just in a? I remember Oshman's was in a couple of those malls back in the day. Was it regional or was it?
I think, I don't know. Steve might know. Ricky might know.
I think specialty and mountaineering stores were, in a good way, sort of elitist and wanted to separate themselves from sporting goods. And so if you sold in sporting goods, you couldn't sell in specialty outdoor.
Interesting.
And luggage stores, they had no clue about outdoor. They thought that was about as foreign as it could be. And so we tried to look a little bit more. Along, right? We tried to look a little bit more like luggage.
Yeah.
In those early days, and even had a separate brand for it. But in the end, they came around to us more than we had to come around to them. They realized luggage and luggage channel understood that these products would sell in their stores, and
because they also sold travel. That makes sense. Yeah,
right,
absolutely makes sense. Yeah, I think I told you guys this before. The very first backpack I ever had was a Saker 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was all about the frameless. I think I had a bad experience with a frame pack.
Yeah.
And
Well, that had an internal frame on it.
Right. But that external
Yeah.
frame, I've got some
Yeah.
blisters and some spots that weren't cool. But yeah, that was
Probably
circumnavigated.
weighed 30 pounds.
I don't remember that.
But that was the evolution of
They had
travel
leather
gear was.
bottom,
Didn't matter. I was young. I
every
could carry
kind.
150 pounds. Who cares?
Oh, God. Yeah. Now,
Young
how
and
are your
dumb.
knees, Rick?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we don't want to talk about that.
That evolution of travel gear kind of went from frame packs, which didn't travel at all, to internal frame packs, which traveled better, but still you had shoulder straps and belts and carried strangely and weren't really oriented for convenience of travel. And then that gave way to more specialized travel packs and travel gear.
Right.
So it was that move to sort of this soft-sided duffels and travel packs.
And where did those design ideas? And where did those design ideas come from? Did you just kind of look at what people were carrying and already? And
some of it, yes, but most of it, no. Like the longtime duffel bag that I think Eagle Creek just changed the design. That was a bowling bag. And I looked at that. I thought, how cool is that? What a great, beautiful shape that was. And it was so simple. And you could cut it with 3 pieces.
Right.
So in cutting, I mean, there was
manufacturing is easy. Yeah.
Yeah. So some of the items that you want, a way to save money is figure out how many you can get out of a piece of fabric, and some of those, just fit in perfectly. So a lot of it was like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, whatever
but
works.
Still,
yeah.
Everything else came from, a lot of people using things, asking for things, and then it would trigger an idea. You just go home and I would go back to work and make things. So that's what I would just make things.
And how long was it before you realized, hey, this travel thing is going to be something? It has some potential. Was it multiple years? Well, was it right away, maybe, because you saw the inspiration from people asking for it?
It was at the time, it seemed like it took forever. Looking back, it probably was 4 or 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
By sort of mid 80s, we started in 75. By mid 80s, it was pretty obvious that it was working. But it was, it helped to have a retail store because we could get that feedback directly from customers, because outdoor retailers, mountain shops, they had no interest in travel to begin with. It really took a lot of work to show them that they already had 50 to 60% of the mix that it would take to sell travel.
Yep.
And they just needed a few specialized pieces to be able to actually have a travel business. But it took a while.
It was education. I mean, we did so much education to the retailer. We had the shop in shops. Connie did, oh my lordy, all that kind of stuff.
I remember those,
to me, it was educate and showing them the path. Really, I think, and then the product just came along with it. That's kind of, I think we really did. And that, I got to say, it's one of the things I'm proud of everybody at Eagle Creek is creating that outdoor travel industry and showing them the path of how to do it. And it actually worked,
Yeah, we turned it into a
category.
It's still
working to this day.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a category.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So what was the adventure travel business like then? Who were the companies leading trips? Obviously, Sobek was probably first. Was there
the big deal? Yeah, kind of the big deal at the time was Freddie Laker, who pioneered sort of wholesale charter travel, so that all of a sudden Americans could fly to Europe for $500 round trip. and that kind of changed the game. So American middle class that basically hadn't left the continent all of a sudden was getting interested in travel as fares came down. When we started Eagle Creek, I think I don't have that number in front of me, but passport ownership in the U.S.
was
low.
40% or
was
so
like a
low.
single digit.
Wow.
And even now it's only 30% or so, compared to, any other Canada or Europe where it's almost universal that people have passport. And it was just because Americans didn't leave the country. So as that started to change, they also needed to learn how to travel. And that whole generation, we had to teach them everything from how to get a passport to how to plan a trip and what to take with you.
Wow.
And we aimed really at our customers, that group that had been backpacking and doing outdoors activities, that wanted to do the activities wherever they went. And that kind of became the adventure part of adventure travel, which is you're not just going to sit in a cafe in Paris. You're going
do
to trek. You're going to trek. You're going to backpack. You're going to ski. You're going to surf. San Diego was a great place to be because San Diegans have a very eclectic assortment of sports they do, and they travel all over the world to do them. And so that was a great place for us to be. And that's sort of where the adventure travel thing came from. The folks that were really pioneering trips and showing people the way in organized trips were people like Richard Bangs and Sobek and Leo Laban with Mountain Travel and Bill Abbott with Wilderness Travel. They were a lot of the pioneers really early on in taking people and pioneering adventures, whether it's river trips or trekking trips to Nepal, those kinds of things. And then back roads came later, but it was with bike touring.
Yep. And I remember it took the retailers a while to catch up to that. You were talking about how we had to teach those guys. I remember when I was there in the 90s, that's what we were doing, was traveling around, getting these guys to, create adventure travel as a category in their shop. And Connie was presenting the travel gear dealer program, which we were selling the hell out of. And it took the retailers a while, though.
And there was a group out of Microsoft that rolled out Mungo Park.
Mungo Park. Richard was part of that,
Richard was part of that, and Tim McGuire. That's where we met Tim McGuire.
Oh, really?
Now still at Eagle Creek. He was down selling adventure travel trips out of Wild Horizons in San Diego, out of
the A16
Horton
Wild
Plaza
Horizons.
store. And that was the Mungo Park spot, was to put kiosks in outdoor stores. Still a brilliant idea, but it never really stuck to the wall, but was to get outdoor retailers involved in selling travel.
Right.
So that worked really well if you're selling travel gear.
Yeah, right. Let's fast forward to 2024. You sold Eagle Creek a few years ago to VF, and then it was purchased by Travis Campbell, who was a VF guy, and now it's independent again. You still talk to those guys? Sure you do.
Yeah, they like us. We like them.
Yeah, why not? I like them too.
Travis and Tim, I think, are doing a fantastic job of bringing the brand back. VF had a real struggle with it, we were thrilled when Travis could secure the brand and is bringing it back to where it was.
Yeah, he and Tim are two good stewards for that brand. They bleed the Eagle Creek blue or green or whatever color Eagle Creek blood is. A lot of different colors, right?
Yeah, we don't have we're all colors.
That's right. We never had a brand color. Hey, you love to learn, right? You're probably a lifelong learner like me. New photography techniques, new tools like AI. I know, it's fun and keeps the creative juices flowing. I just purchased a course on AI from Creative Live the other day. I'm always looking for tools and methods to streamline my production process for the Outdoor Biz Podcast. And Creative Live has an amazing selection of live and on-air classes. Over 1,500 curated classes in photography and video, money and life, craft and maker, art and design, and music and audio. There's something for everyone. And new classes added every month. I've watched many of their on-air broadcasts for free and then purchased the class later because it was so good. Go to ricksays.com/creativelive and learn something new today. That's www.ricksays.com/creativelive. And drop me an email and tell me what course you chose. Maybe I'll check it out too. Let's get back to the show. So, tell us about the Adventure Travel Conservation Fund. Where did that inspiration come from?
Well, all the way through our years at Eagle Creek, we were also really involved with conservation really early on, members of Conservation Alliance. I served on the board there back in the early 90s and through the early 2000s. And that seemed like a fantastic concept, and it's been very successful in outdoor. But it was always a little frustrating that it only did grants in North America. Mm-hmm. And almost all of our business was centered around equipping people to go out into the developing world and out of North America. And there's so much need for conservation work in these communities in especially Africa and Asia and South America. How do you get the money there? Who's doing that kind of work? Who's organizing business to come together, collaborate, and fund grassroots projects? And couldn't find anybody when we were doing Eagle Creek originally. And so after I left Eagle Creek in 2010, started to talk to Shannon Stahl at ATTA, and it seemed like there's a real opportunity there to put together an organization. And so we did. We launched with a bunch of great folks in the adventure travel business, launched the Adventure Travel Conservation Fund with the idea of really, it's sort of 4 pillars. One is conservation and climate. The other pillar is storytelling. So tell stories about what people are doing at the local level and try to bring those stories to light. Convene. The third pillar is to convene these communities that are working on conservation. You've got small grassroots groups working in Africa and South America and Asia, which really have so much in common, but they don't have really a collection of folks, a community themselves. So to help them build community, we bring them together to share best practices of how to manage and grow their travel economy without letting it destroy their culture and the biodiversity of their communities. And then the fourth one is we do grants. We give them money to do that. And it's funded by the outdoor brands, travel brands, and the travel supply chain itself. So
gotcha.
That's been a great opportunity, because right now with climate and a long bad history of how mass travel has screwed up iconic destinations, you kind of got to think twice about getting on a plane and going to some of these locations.
Yeah.
And is it the right thing to do? And should people stay in their own backyard and have staycations, or should we continue to grow travel? Well, of course, travel's a passion for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But how do you do it responsibly? How do you do it well? And not make a negative impact? Well, a lot of it is how you travel and where you go. And when you are there, how do you conduct yourself? And so that's really what the ATTA focuses on, is how to travel well and travel responsibly with the least impact. And then with the ATCF, we're trying to figure out how we do it in support of these communities, because in this day and age, the saying at ATTA is that if you're in the travel business, it used to be, let's figure out what our customers want and what our customers need. But in this day and age of a biodiversity extinction crisis and climate and mass over tourism wrecking places, it really is about, what does your community need?
What's the destination need? Yeah.
What's the destination need?
Yeah.
And if it works for the destination, it works for the community, with the locals at the table, where the money stays there instead of being sucked out to a multinational corporation, then it's going to reflect in the kind of really authentic, rich experience that the travelers can have. And those are kind of our customers. Those are our people, though, that want to visit and see the real authentic culture and not feel like they've become a burden on it. It's the antithesis of the cruise culture.
Right. So how do you do that? Do you still do it through the retailers? Obviously, you don't have little bit of education probably at the destination side of things, but it's still an education heavy lift educationally for the tourists, the folks that go buy their gear and go buy their airplane tickets and go. How do you get them on board?
Yeah, I think that's the big question, and it's the big challenge, and it's the big opportunity. And I think people are interested to know, how do I do that right?
Right. Yeah.
And so finding, we have this wonderful worldwide web of the internet.
That's right.
To where people are doing a lot more research, and so one of the things that both ATTA and ATCF work on is, how do you get the locals better at telling their own story? Because I believe that many of our customers and potential clients, they want to do it right.
Yeah, right.
They are cognizant of climate. They are concerned about, am I being helpful, or am I just part of the problem? And so how do we get the locals to tell the story? How do we get travel companies are starting to market it. Unfortunately, a lot of mass travel folks are co-opting that message. So it takes a smarter and smarter consumer to figure out what's bullshit and what's the real deal.
What's legit,
So, but that's all fun work, frankly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll bet. Yeah. It's motivating, it's inspiring, and it's, you feel good after you're doing good for the planet. That's great.
Well, and to do it in a way where you're actually amplifying the local voices versus a bunch of, white Americans talking for them. Right. So, there's a lot of learning involved to do that right, to help elevate local and regional voices, so they have not only a place at the table, but they're at the head of the table. And what's interesting about the adventure travel business, it's so similar in many ways to the outdoor business. It's just the products are different.
Right.
And just as in outdoor, everybody wants the new, unique, cool, new gadget or Wizmo.
Yeah.
In the venture travel world, it's, what's the unique new place? What experience can be it can be new and refreshing. And so there's the same striving for new product and an innovation that goes on over there.
Mm-hmm.
And just as in outdoor, we try to talk about not only how effective or cool our new product is, but also how sustainable it is, how we made it,
right.
and be transparent about its impact. It's the same thing with how the more enlightened travel companies are approaching their products. Is not only is this unique, but you're actually helping the local economy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the way we do it, we
The
leave money
destinations,
there.
Yeah.
We leave money in the destinations, and so
What
that's
about?
been fun work, and that's what the ATCF does.
That's pretty cool. What about, so the destinations, I would imagine, come on board fairly quickly. The traveler needs some education. And then what about the service provider, the trip leader side of the thing, the outfitter, so to speak, who's, you got the destination ready to welcome the people, want to do it right, want to make sure that they, don't muck up the works. They want to keep things, conserve the land and protect the people and all those things. The consumer, I would imagine, would line right up to that. But then you got the service provider who's want to get these people on this trek and that trek and this boat ride and surf that wave. And how are they handling it? How are they lining up to it?
Well, I think
The
that's
outfitters.
Yeah, they need to differentiate, or it's the old disintermediation.
Right.
As the locals get their shit together
More passionate about it and more concerned about it and
and can
only
get
want to
on
work
the
with.
internet and
Yeah.
start to talk about,
Yeah.
come stay at my lodge, and I'll hook you up with a great visit to see whatever birds you want to see or whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot of the travel providers that are in between the consumer or the traveler and the destination have to add value, have to differentiate and add value. And to do that, they need to show that they really are following through on their promise of they become your advisors in how to travel sustainably.
Right. Promoting sustainability and DEI and all those things. Yeah. Because I would imagine the more people get exposed to that, the more people are going to want to go with those people that are doing it the right way, doing it the least impactful way. So
I think that's what you're seeing. And I think, for whatever it's worth, I think those people are thriving, but it really is sort of a constant challenge because
I'm
at the
sure.
same time, there is, this revenge travel concept of people that were stuck at home during COVID. It's there's a boom in travel out there, and so but I think also people, again, as we're saying, travel clients and folks looking at travel, I think had a few years to think about how they wanted to do it right. So
there's more options these days too. Yeah. Before we wrap up here, is there anything else you'd like to say to our listeners? Or I have one more question to ask you, but anything you didn't get to talk about, or Nona? Anything you want to ask me? I shouldn't have said that, but
No, Rick, I'm good. No, you don't want me to ask things recording.
do you, so you guys have been all over the world. What's on your adventure travel destination bucket lists? Any place you jonesing to get to?
well, we're talking right now about Panama.
Cool.
That's not a bucket list. That's just a place to go.
Yeah.
A bucket list for me would be Antarctica
Mm-hmm.
and Antarctica.
Yep, that's a special place.
Yeah, that's high on Nona's list. So
Very cool.
That's my list.
Well, that's a good place to
We've been to a lot
go.
of great places. People need to get out there and go.
I
A
hear
lot
you.
of places that out there that are doing it right.
Yep, I hear you. It's same here. I mean, through all the connections I had at Eagle Creek and over the years, I've been on every continent but Australia. So got to get down there.
Yeah, that's me too.
Yeah.
Australia and Antarctica.
We should plan an Australia trip.
And you never can get to the Arctic enough.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, we do that a lot.
I'll definitely be going back to the Arctic.
Yeah, I'll go back there someday too. Yeah. Well, don't hang up. I'm not done with you yet, but we're going to sign off. So It's been great talking to you guys. Thanks for coming on. You guys have pioneered the adventure travel concept at both wholesale and retail. And
well, thanks, Rick. You had a big part in it too, and you're still doing it.
I had a few years there. Yeah, had a few years going. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I'm thrilled you're doing the adventure travel series.
Yeah, you're still doing it, and that's just wonderful.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. It's super fun. I still love talking to everybody. That's the part that surprises me. It's just a conversation like this. I learn something every time, and we talk about fun stuff. So we'll keep it going.
We listen to you. $3.95.
Awesome. Thank you. That's a good place to. That's a good road to listen.
We giggle.
Driving to the Sierras, listen to Rick.
That's a good road to listen on.
It is. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you next time.
Get a little sick of it. All right.
I'll see you next time you're up here.
Be there soon. See
awesome.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Outdoor Biz Podcast. Be sure to visit our website, theoutdoorbizpodcast.com, where you'll find show notes with links to everything we talked about and more. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss a single episode. And while you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes, or spread the word and tell a friend. That would really help us out too. Be sure to tune in every week. And thanks again for listening to the Outdoor Biz Podcast with Rick Sayes.